underestimate my power. This is where the fun begins.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Sithcast podcast, a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything Star Wars. I'm one of your host. I can't talk anymore. Horse. I'm one of your horses.
Did you just say I'm one of your horses?
My horse.
Thought he said something else, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm one of your horse. PJ the Paradox Nerd. Meow. That was a weird intro, but anyway, one of your horse. Yeah, one of your horse, guys. So I'm one of your hosts, PJ the Paradox Nerd, alongside my co-host Nilda, aka the Sith Queen. Unfortunately,
second whore.
Paul, boy.
Nilda, pause. But oh my gosh. Where's this show going already? But anyway, Sean, the other whore, couldn't make it tonight. He's spending some time, some Thanksgiving family time, so he won't be joining us tonight. But he'll be back next week. But we do have another special guest to join us tonight. We got Vader, aka Thor,
coming out the bullpen. Pause.
Yes. Pause. And
the closer.
Our main attraction for tonight, we got Steven Costatino, aka the Gamorrean Guard, or one of them. Another one. Steven, oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight. Thank you for I know you have a very busy schedule. I know we've been trying to set this up, and thank you to Nilda again for working this out. So yeah, glad to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we're gonna just hit the ground running and try to get to know you a little bit. And we were talking backstage, and I didn't know you were a fellow Jerseyan. So
yes,
I think you said you grew up around like Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yes, originally, yeah, in the Jersey City.
Yeah, and you know what it's gonna
you don't
say?
Hear that accent?
I recognize that accent anywhere.
I can't lose it. I can't lose it.
Nope.
The only time
don't lose it because it's one of my favorite ones. I'm sorry.
When I sing, I lose it.
Oh, okay. Funny. Well, that's awesome. Like, so I was gonna say, I know you travel a lot, right, to a lot of conventions, and I know you live out in the West now, but does Jersey still have the best pizza?
Absolutely. And the Taylor ham and eggs. And
even if I showed you what I have in my freezer right now, you would freak out.
You have Taylor ham.
Yes, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get it.
Oh my goodness!
No, to me. You better be sending me a box for Christmas. That's funny.
Yeah.
And the delis too. There's no delis in California. She has Taylor ham in the
bagels, lox, cream cheese.
Real Italian food. I mean, they don't have only.
He didn't buy it yet. He's gonna get it tomorrow. Sorry.
So what do you guys make? You fry it up with eggs?
No, so we're making we're doing pork rolls tomorrow. So we got hoagie breads, and he's gonna go to Publix tomorrow and get the Taylor hams. Do it with scrambled eggs. I like mine over medium, and then you just put cheddar cheese on top of it.
Yeah,
it's like the Spam of New Jersey, I think.
Yes, it's better than Spam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
every day. I just had it every day in Parsippany. I did a show, and every morning there was a little deli we can get it, so it was nice on a Kaiser roll, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. I'm getting hungry now. Well, I was gonna say the Parsippany Convention, that is Chiller Theater, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, one of my friends, he plays in the band over there, the Dead Elvi. So, it's
They had
cool
a
that.
band. They had a band that. They had a band play that night. I think it was there the Saturday night.
Yeah.
That might have been kind of rock band.
Yeah, he's part of the rock band. He played later on, like after the convention was done. Wow, I wish I knew. I would have loved to have visited. It's hard for me to keep up with some of these conventions too, because especially New Jersey, because I think the main attraction is New York Comic Con, so I usually go to that. But I would like to check out the other ones that they have here. I heard Chiller Theater is really good, so but it's more of a horror.
Well, the first one I did was Wayne, New Jersey. I did with Kenneth. He does a lot of little shows, and that was kind of my reintroduction to New Jersey in a sense. I hadn't been there for a while, and I stayed a little extra time and I went to 9/11 and all that just to see, because actually, as a kid, I saw them building the towers, and so that was nice. Wayne is close to you, I guess, Edison.
Yeah,
touching
it's
all
about
that, right?
30-40 minutes away from me. So, well, I was gonna ask you. So, when's the next convention stop? I know usually around this time, usually a lot of like celebrities, guests, they kind of like wind down and they just usually take a break and revamp up around after the new year. But
Exactly.
any plans?
Yeah.
Any
Well, I'm
plans
working
for the
on
new?
doing the super. Well, the one in Miami possibly, and a lot of stuff. Maybe February, March, getting started. I normally do Nashville every year. ICCC, they moved it to a later date, and
December.
I'm just filling up the roster. Yeah, I'm filling up the roster now because when I had the eye surgery, I was supposed to be down for 2 months. It was 6 months, and then I moved, and I canceled like 10 shows. So I'm kind of reestablishing, the shows that I like doing, because I don't have really. I'm my own agent. I work with different agents, not exclusively like I used to, and so I have different rapport with different people, and I like working with promoters, straight, because they kind of get it, and everything changed after COVID. I must say, the whole dynamic, because there's a lot of people coming out of woodwork. There's so many shows that it was just, it was too much. It was daunting, like overkill, for a while.
Yeah. The only one that I in terms of convention in New Jersey that I attended this year was Contropolis, because I think they had a nice lineup of Star Wars. Chiller Theater, I didn't know they had Star Wars actors, but are you looking to do Contropolis next year, or
possibly? I did. Did they do something in Massachusetts? Because I did that show too.
I think so.
They do Rhode Island and the same people, right?
Yeah.
Contropolis. Yeah, I did the Massachusetts. I was at Massachusetts like a few months ago, 3-4 months, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just did a show here. I just did a show with all the Jawas and my friend Rory, and we did a thing in Upland.
I know. I saw you guys posting it with Susanna Malik.
Yeah, Suzanne, my girl.
I love her. She's such a big shit talker. She's great.
Well, she's the one. Yeah, that's the one. We're talking about doing the show in Miami together now. I think it's February.
Yeah.
And I get some of the Cubano food too. It's good food in Florida too.
I'll bring the pastelitos again. I promise.
Oh my God! And the Cuban coffee. I love it.
Yes, I got you.
Can I tell you, Cuban coffee is like the best coffee. It's cafe con leche. Can I tell you one?
Yeah.
So I went over, my barber, he's Cuban. So I went over his house. Usually cuts from home. So I went over his house. He was cutting my hair. He's like, hey, PJ, would you like a, coffee? I was like, yeah, sure, man. He's like, all right, here you go. It's like this small cup. I'm like, all right, cute. All right. I chugged that thing down. And can I tell you, after I was done with my haircut, I was like cleaning his house. I was like, I don't know what's in that coffee, but oh my gosh, I was like ready to. I was mowing his lawn. I'm like, what was in that thing? It like spruced me up.
Kind of like espresso. Yeah, it's kind of like espresso, but they use a lot more sugar and cream.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. It's so
you're
good.
Getting the whole. And it's funny, when I did Florida, we started in Orlando, and we were heading to Flynn's the next week or the next weekend. And the promoter I was with, we stayed at a timeshare that he had, and he was making that every morning. I'd smell it, and he'd make a full pot, because we would drink quite a lot, I said, forget the little cup. Just make it, triple that. Put that in a cup. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Can I tell you, like, I love coffee. So it's weird because, well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's weird because I would go in the morning to get an Americano, right? And usually that comes with like 2 or 3 shots. I would do that. And then in the afternoon, get a small Americano and come up with like another shot or 2 shots of espresso. And some people are like, oh my gosh, you drink so much coffee. Like, how do you sleep? I'm like, I sleep like a baby, dude. Because usually I time it so that my crashes happen when I'm in bed,
Yeah. Well, 2 isn't bad.
My coffee.
Yeah, but there's people that do it all day. They'll drink triple espressos all day. Yeah,
my girlfriend.
I can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dude, my boyfriend, because my boyfriend's like super Italian, he'll have a triple shot of espresso. He'll put a little bit of sambuca in it with a lemon peel, and that's how he has. That's how he has his coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a liqueur, and he has his coffee like that every morning and every night.
Really, he's really Italian because that's really an aperitif that's like an aperitif we drink after the holiday meals. You put a little anisette or the drambuca. Yeah, it's like a licorice flavor. But now, do you have a store? Did you have a store at the Flynn's outside? You guys?
No, that was somebody else.
But were you at Flynn's?
No, I saw you at the Super Fan Con, the one in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because somebody at Flynn's was there as well with you when we were sharing a booth, maybe. And
we were sharing a booth.
So those guys were at Flynn's because they had their store outside, and they said the same thing. Remember the pastries and stuff? And I said, "Was it you guys?" No, I don't remember. And they said, "Yeah, we were part of it." So, but it was actually you that brought them personally. Yeah. And that was so nice of you, man. It made my morning. Thank you again.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Well, one thing with coffee is like I need it every day, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, but hey, there's no like health effects thing. I don't know. I haven't read anything. They actually recommend you drink a cup of coffee a day.
Yeah, just don't
Um,
overdo it.
Exactly. So we're gonna get to know you a little bit, Steven. So obviously, a lot of people know you as the Gamorrean Guard in Return of the Jedi. I think you mentioned earlier that well, I think it was off air, but yeah, which Gamorrean Guard did you play?
I played the one on the barge when Luke jumps over the Sarlacc pit. Jabba's barge, and there's a few that attack him, but there's one he cuts in half, and that's the scene I went over with him when I did it. I just followed the footsteps on the barge because I couldn't see out of that mask. Only in front of me, my peripherals were off completely, and I wasn't meant to do that character, as you know. I wasn't meant to even work. Oh yeah, the story is a kismet story. I had a band. Did you read the bio at all?
I'm sorry.
Did you check out my bio? Did you check out my biography?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened. I had a band with Corey D. Williams, Billy D's son, in the 80s, and we met through our martial arts teacher at the time, and it was instantaneous. We're both from the East Coast, so we had a lot of diversity. We listened to rock and all the funk and all the great, jazz, and because New York and when I was in New York, I'd go see Led Zeppelin, Lou Reed, Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, and in 1 week, so there was no line between music. We just loved music, and because of that background, Corey and I we could play anything together. He liked the funk and slap, like Sly and stuff like that, but it was very powerful, and it was pure love, and Billy was very supportive of us. Billy D was very supportive, let us have the garage as a studio. And then when he was also trying to get us a deal at Motown, because back in the day, you did a development deal of 3 songs. And then if they, it works for them, they see potential, they'll give you a full on record deal. And so Billy was with Motown, his manager then, Shelley, did all that stuff with Billy, Mahogany and Lady Sing the Blues. That was all Motown, And so he comes in one day, and we're trying to write some songs to get a deal. And he says, Corey, would you like to come to Arizona for the new Star Wars? I don't even know if they had the name yet, which was Revenge probably in the beginning. And he said to stand in because he looks so much like his dad. And he's kind of adamant because he's a musician. Boy, he never really acted. He's been on a lot of sets. And then he's like a little adamant, like, oh, in the middle of music, we're on a high right now. And Billy looks at me and says, you want to come along as a guest? So I took my guitar. We went to LAX a few weeks later, and we went to the special area, and Kerry was there, and it was Kerry, Billy, Corey, and I, and we got on a little plane to Yuma, Arizona. But I wasn't working. I wasn't there to work. I was there to play music. And the first day was a Sunday, and everyone's around the pool, Peter Mayu and Mark, and I started to hit me, the magnitude of what's going on. And then the next day we drove out 45 minutes into the middle of the desert because the wide angle shots blended in with the Starlight Pit and all that. But then the nature with the wind blowing, so a lot of downtime for the actors as well. And we played music every night, and Princess Leia's dancing, and it was like, I said, this is pretty unbelievable. I can't believe this. And we had a buzz on the set, and everyone wanted to see us perform every night and entertain the troops, so to speak. But by the third day in, I'm restless. I want to work, and I'm meeting everyone, hearing great stories, but there's so much to do out there because they built this facade like a monolith in the middle of nowhere. And I said, how do I ask for a job without being ungrateful? I didn't know how to go about it because it was overwhelming. And because I had all the amenities being with Billy. So it's like, I don't overstep my ground. And so Howard Gazanti, the producer, took out Billy one night. We tagged along. I said, Howard, listen, I'll work for free. Just put me to work. And he goes, come in early tomorrow with everyone. And I'll put you and Corey in some costumes. And they made me the guard, and they made Corey the Klaatu. But Corey had been working, standing in by that time, And Ralph Nelson Jr., the still photographer, took some pictures with the mask off of Corey and I, and so did Billy D, which is unheard of. You didn't have phones on now. You're not supposed to have cameras. I had my little Polaroid, and I actually got some stuff with Mark in the trailer that I use now. I sell as part of my stuff. But back then, even Billy, I think they took his film because they don't want anything leaking out. It was all called Blue Harvest. Horror Beyond Imagination was the fictitious name and all. And so that we did the scene, and they said follow the steps, and I don't know about cameras where to look, but they just followed these steps on the ground. And Mark, we go at it with the he kills me with the saber, and then this stuff's put in the archives for years, and I didn't really talk about it much. And then I guess about 15 years ago, Corey's down in Atlanta for a while, and Billy did Dragon Con there, and Billy's appearance manager at the time had seen the pictures from the archives of Corey, and he goes, "What's this?" And Corey tells him the story. Next thing I know, the picture goes up. The picture goes up on Facebook, and then they reach out from England. They said, "What is this, man? You in Star Wars? This is your, behind the Gamorrean Guard?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it was a quick scene. I didn't think much of it." They go, "Well, you do autographs." I said, "For what?" They go, "We got killed by Luke Skywalker. You did a scene with Luke Skywalker." And so I said, "Okay." And they sent me like 60 items that I signed and sent back. I said, as a musician, I said, "This is a good way to, make some extra money for sure." And then the pictures went online, and Corey said, "Hey, they want us to go out and tell our story." And we haven't looked back for I think about 13, 14 years I've been on the road. So it's definitely kismet. I never expected it. And now I'm a host of toys, and I have my own products. And Mandalorian comes out, and then reintroduces the Gamorrean Guard from the future, which is a lot thinner. And so the fighters, I'm part of the whole thing. And 40 years later, I'm an OG, of the guards. And there's not really, the guards are usually together, like in the lair or what have you. And, the scene on the barge is like not too many. And then there's the one Rancor. So we stand out a little bit, in that case. So it's pretty amazing to this day, and I'm very grateful to sign toys.
At one point when you like walked into the set, like getting ready, dressed up as like a Gamorrean guard, did it like sink into you that you were like, oh my God, I'm in a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, well, that kind of happened the first day because it was a Sunday day off, and we had these almost like Airbnbs back then behind the hotel in Yuma. The pool was there, and they had these apartments for the actors with little kitchenettes and stuff. And as we're walking to the apartments in the back, everybody's by the pool, and Peter Mayhew is standing in the hot tub, 4 feet hot tub, and he says hi, and I'm looking up at him saying, "Man, this is Chewbacca." So it started to hit me then, and then Mark running up in his speedos. He had a great, he had a lot of.
Yeah.
So I said, "Wow, who knows?" And then driving out to the set and seeing that facade, because the whole back was just a facade, and I said, "This is incredible." And the great thing was meet Kenny Baker and Stuart Freeborn, who designed Yoda. A lot of the people that are not big stars but make it happen, those are incredible stories in the fabric of the whole franchise. I feel without those people, there wouldn't be any Star Wars.
Yeah, I
And now
totally
the fans,
agree.
yeah. So yeah, the magnitude. I understood, because I've seen Star Wars in New York on Broadway. I saw Empire, and I knew the magnitude of it, but I didn't know I would be a part of it for that little fleeting moment. I really had no idea. So it's still absurd to this day.
Yet the toys for the Gamorrean guards, especially what is it, the sideshow ones, are like the most expensive ones to find.
Oh yeah, the Mythos ones.
Oh yeah,
sure.
And they're super rare.
Yeah.
And the General Giant came out with the original Kenner, which is 10-inch, and they were a little cumbersome to get around. And then the Pops blow my mind because I was at San Diego Comic-Con 2012, and Pops had a little corner booth, and I went up. I said, "What is this? These bobbleheads, they're bastardizing our characters. I didn't even like them." And actually, the blue from 2000, I have a blue now from 2011. I signed up for $350. I mean, easily. And even the fighters, there's a lot of them now, but they vaulted the guards from a few years ago, and those just every time I look on online, they go up.
Yeah,
so
it's
pretty crazy. It's that the artwork and stuff I traded for years and bartered with other people who wanted to just share. It's amazing how much that stuff's worth now. Like I even made a pick 8x10 of my slide. I had a slide that Ralph Nelson Jr. gave me, the still photographer of Corey and I with the mask on, and it said "Revenge" on it before they even changed the name because it was too derogatory of a name, so they changed it to Return.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I saw that at your booth when you were at ICC across from Sean Crawford, which I found it really funny. I was like, wait a second. I was like, you got Yak Face and the Gamorrean guard literally right next to each other.
Yeah.
I love ICC is one of my favorite because Mike Haven and I become friends, and I helped him on the first one. I had a few days extra, and I helped everybody. His family was in town from the East Coast, and all his helpers, and I helped him unload, load up and everything. And he said, "No." He said, "You'll be here for the rest of your life. You'll always be here." So we did 2 shows in Franklin, and then
Mike is great. I love them. Him and his wife Andrea are amazing.
Yeah, and then the second year, I stayed at the house. She's Italian. He's Italian. She cooks like my grandmother. So I stayed at his house for I stayed an extra week, and he couldn't do enough. They couldn't do enough to take care of my girlfriend and I. It was wonderful, and it's like family, And unfortunately, because of my eye last year, I couldn't go to Lebanon, and they had the helicopters and all this. They had a demolition derby, and I kind of missed out. And plus, we have a band. The first year I got there, I sat in with this band, Miz in the Drive, my friend Lee Ramsey, who's a great singer, artist. And they're almost a little like Dave Matthews. They do all kinds of stuff, but they had a little horn, sax, and they had a steel player. And as soon as I got there, I sat in with them. And then we've been playing ever since together. And that started a new band. We started the Con Man with a friend from Daredevil. And so every year it's tradition for us to play at the show on Saturday night, and that's been quite exciting as a musician, and it's always wonderful to do it. I get excited about going there. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to the next one. This next year, they're back at the Sheraton. I know that for sure.
Yeah, and they're doing it on December 1st, I believe.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
Yeah.
it started in September originally in Franklin, and then it moved to May for a few years. And actually, I talked to Mike today, and he said, "Yeah, we're moving it back." And I said, "That's strange enough doing it in May." He goes, "You forgot we used to do it in September." I said, "Oh, you're right." So the Sheraton's great because we all stay there, and everybody meets at downstairs at the bar and the restaurants, and we get to play
Yeah.
outside.
We
So
get to
it's
do
all
the after
inclusive.
hours toy exchange after the
Oh,
show.
exactly.
So much
You know?
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like you can get some drinks and food, and you don't have to go anywhere, right? It's just in the hotel
Yeah,
chilling.
I
So
love that. I can just crawl to
But you
bed.
can,
You know?
but Steven, like PJ, you can even ask Steven, like the after hours meetup thing. It's literally like social hour where like
Mhm.
no one is a fan, no one is a celebrity. Everybody is the same person. The year that I went, I literally sat at the bar, and right next to me was General. I forgot his name now, but it was the actor who played General Veers, who was also in Indiana Jones.
Wow.
And he was just
Oh
there,
yeah,
just
yeah.
just hanging out with a bottle of Pinot Grigio. And like me and Robin Baccarat from the vintage line that she has a booth there. We were just sitting there hanging out with him as if nothing. Like,
Yeah,
got to talk to him. And then like I went to go talk to the front desk about like having packages shipped over.
Ooh.
And got to see the actor who plays Nine Numb. Got to talk to him for a little bit.
Mike Quinn.
Yeah, Mike Quinn. Mike was drinking a
Yeah.
Stella. I went to the bar. I went and got him another one. And like I said, it's literally everybody was there. There's no such thing as actors and fans. It's everybody is equal, and they all hang out and talk with each other, and it's just a really good vibe.
Yeah, and that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, and
too.
over time, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Steven.
No, just over time, the old school, and I love the British because I've been to England twice with them, and Sean Crawford and Mike Quinn, and on and on and on. We Williamson, and we've all become quite good friends, and we love hanging out together, and it's always a joy to be together, and we all grateful to be there, and now I go out with a lot of new people too, and they're all gracious, so it's beautiful because for a while a lot of agents were running stuff, and it was just getting crazy and getting misconstrued, and it's nice to go to shows like that. That's refreshing. Everyone wants to be together, and you live and learn over time, and
Yeah.
So the old guard now, we get together, and it's like an old Lions Club or old, Masonic Lodge or something.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I know I was gonna I'm gonna mention this. I'm gonna defer to Thor after, but you mentioned that you were with was it Lando himself?
Yes.
Yeah, Billy D. So
Billy D.
Thor is Thor, you take it away.
Okay, Steve, I'm going to tell you this story, man. I'm so glad that you were part of this scene because this is one of my best Star Wars memories in my whole. Until they put me in the dirt, I will never forget this. Right. So the year was 1983. Your man was 8 years old, right? So my mother had this 72 Dodge Swinger, right? Took me and all my god brothers and sisters after Sunday school. We all in our dressed up clothes and penny loafers and everything. Takes us to go see Return of the Jedi, right? About 8 of us. So my whole life, my mother's been in love with Billy D. Williams, as many women were back, at that time, right?
Oh God!
So we sitting in the theater. I'm sitting next to my god sister. My mother's behind all of us, right? The rest of us were in front of them. So your scene comes with the Sarlacc pit, and Lando, we're gonna call him Lando. He falls over the side of the barge. My mother is in the theater, and I swear to God, may they strike me down right now. Is yelling at the top of her lungs, "Don't kill Billy D, Lord Jesus, don't kill Billy D." And we turn around, like we did, just me and my one guy. We turn around real slow and looked at her, and like, "Are you really in here saying don't kill?" And so they pull out Billy D. Han. They pull out Billy D, and they gave me this program, right? So she's fanning herself. Oh God, thank you, Jesus. They didn't kill Billy D. I was like, Lord have mercy. That's a true story.
Oh my
God. It was the funniest
thing.
He's
like a Clark Gable, He really.
Oh yeah.
Well, it started with Brian's song when he played the Gail Singer story.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
young Billy and Brian's song. You know, it's just and then you remember Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars?
No.
That's a movie all you guys should look up tonight and check it out.
Okay.
It's about the Barnstormer baseball team, the black baseball teams back in the day
Oh, okay.
in the
Yeah.
South.
Okay.
And it's funny because, and I say this and people don't realize Richard Pryor's in it, and Corey was on the set, really small. Richard and Billy D and James Earl Jones is in it. So it's
Oh,
funny
wow.
because how could they ever realize Billy D and James Earl that will ever be part of a franchise like Star Wars? You know,
Right.
a space movie.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's another great film. And then the reason your mom loved him because of Mahogany and Lady Sing the Blues, of
Oh
course,
yeah,
right?
no question. Yeah.
Forget about it, you know, because he
Mhm.
was, you know, women love him, and even my mom when I moved out here, and when I moved to LA and I met Corey, we were at the house all the time eating, and you know we had a great time, and also his Billy lived there, Corey, Billy's wife Taruko, and their stepdaughter Miyako, who's Wayne Shorter's daughter. She was Taruko was married to Wayne Shorter previously from Weather Report, one of the best, you know, home players of all time. Play with Miles
Okay.
and yeah, so it was quite a group. But my mom came to visit, and she said, "I'm going to cook for Billy." So she cooked eggplant parmesan, and to this
Oh
day,
wow.
I make it too. I got my mother's recipe. She's gone now. So when I went to see Corey, we did a show in Knoxville. And we drove to Atlanta to just play and hang out for a week. And the first thing him and his girl say, "You're gonna make eggplants, right?" So that's been a tradition now. So my mom too,
Wow.
Billy D, the way she hugged him, and you know, she's the same way. I mean, he was there's not many guys that look like that. Let's
Yeah,
face it,
for sure.
and
He
have that
still looks good. I
swagger.
saw him. He still looks good. I saw him last year. I got to meet him, and I was still like,
No, we go see Rise of Skywalker. She's still in here hollering Billy D. I'm like, Jesus.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
You
80
know,
years old.
because the women cherish him. They like, you
Yeah.
can't kill him. He's the best looking guy we have.
Man, he was screaming, man, don't kill Billy D. I was like, not Lando, Billy D.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's incredible. You know what's funny about that scene is he was hanging and the squib went off on his leg, the little
Yeah.
explosives, and he was kind of burnt, you know, and Corey had to hang there in lieu of that. So Corey got to actually hang where his dad would be.
Oh
And,
wow.
yeah. So that was
Oh.
his squib went off too early and kind of burnt his ankle a little bit or something.
Oh wow.
So they had to pull him out. Yeah. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
quite an adventure out there.
Well, I was gonna say, um, you're wearing this. First of all, awesome
body
costume
still.
of the Gamorrean Guard, and honestly, like I think there's a reason why a lot of people love the Gamorrean Guard, just because just the the design of this character, of this alien. It's like you didn't know what to make of it. It's like, okay, it's a pig, but it's just like a badass pig that's a guard. That's so, like he's in Jabba's palace, like protecting Jabba. Like he's got to be badass.
Well, it's the
How hot
loyalty.
was
It's
it?
the I look. It's loyalty. It's like,
Mhm.
remember Gladiator,
Yeah.
the great Ridley
Yes.
Scott film.
Mhm.
He was brutal, but then when he goes back to his wife and kid, you see a whole other side. Well, it's not just a brutal killer.
Mhm.
You know, meant to fight all the time. And the same thing, guard. The guard, I learn as I go. The story in the encyclopedia. The guards are very loyal. They have families. Plus Miss Piggy, Porky Pig have always been embraced, because I didn't realize why they love us so much, that character. Because there's a lot of other characters, but the pig is, and I always make a joke that people's affinity for pork. We love pork chops,
Mhm.
and the pig has the when they do heart surgery, they use the pig arteries. It's closest to a
Mhm.
human. So there's definitely a connection like that. I look at all that,
Yeah. Well,
which
it's
is fun.
it's just like almost like a wild boar, but it's very unique design. And like we mentioned earlier, like a lot of rare collectibles. We mentioned like the Sideshow Mythos Gamorrean Guard, which it's one of those now. Is I
Yeah.
think how much is going for Thor?
the Gamorrean, you know, it's like a distance size 750. You probably now couldn't find it for more than like $1,400. You
Yeah.
know, I
And
mean
then if
Yeah.
we
less than-
sign them, we sign it, it goes up. If we
Exactly.
sign it, that you know, that's why I made the I have plaques now. I don't know if you guys saw those plaques people were making,
Mm-hmm.
and I signed
Yeah.
it as little. You put the plaque under one of the sideshows, especially the Knights pieces, and you put it
There you
under in the
go.
box
There you
frame. It
go.
looks like yeah, it looks like a museum piece.
There you go,
Exactly.
PJ.
You know,
Don't kill.
What
I don't
happened?
have a sideshow. I want a sideshow. I don't
Yeah.
have a
They should
sideshow.
give you. They should give you guys the new. What is it called? The Diamond Select, the new Gamorrean guard bus. Have you seen that, Steven?
Yeah, not
They
yet.
should give
Send
you
it to me.
guys one of those.
We're on Facebook,
Yeah.
right? You and I.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah, we're
friends?
friends on
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah. Well,
Here,
I
I'll
was gonna
send it to
say.
you.
Well, I was gonna say too is like, how hot was that suit?
I was thinking about that too. Like,
You know, I'm
getting
looking
out there
at
in the
that
desert.
that video.
Well, the welcoming letter, welcome to Yuma, Arizona, 120
Mhm.
degrees dry heat. So they kept saying it's dry heat. There's not your humidity, I guess. But you know, people say, "What makeup do you wear?" They just put black around my eyes because that's actually the poster child for the Gamorrean Guard with the on the sales barge
Mhm.
with the orange sails. That's me. You know, that's become like
Mhm.
the main. Like when you pull up Gamorrean Guard, that's what comes up,
Mhm.
which is, you know, for the small scene I did, who knew that would happen? But
Mhm.
the mask, and I had the hands and the feet and the bottom and the top, and they put a blow dryer in my mouth, which I would love to find that picture with the blow dryer in my mouth.
A blow dryer
You
in
know,
your
but
A
mouth?
blow dryer.
yeah,
But
they
isn't
were
that blow
supposed to
dryer
cool me down. It's
hot?
archaic. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And so, and then there's a
Oh,
point I
I
took the
see.
top off, and they had to hold me up like Humpty Dumpty because the bottom half was so heavy. So it was
Mhm.
bottom
Oh my
heavy. And
god.
Corey and I would laugh. He would hold my ass up, you know, pushing my butt for me from toppling over like Humpty Dumpty, you know.
Mhm.
But you know, you do the scene, you follow the footsteps, and you just go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a sauna. It was like a
Mhm.
sauna, but I was like probably 140 pounds and 135 pounds already,
Mhm.
so I was pretty small to begin with. You know,
Mhm.
now people go, "You get the custom nice." I don't know if I'd fit, to be honest with you. You know,
Yeah.
especially the new ones are like MMA fighters.
I know. Well,
Guards,
what's
you
your
know.
thoughts on the
Yeah.
new guards? I'm not.
They were
I
like
mean,
jacked up.
yeah. You know, because
Yeah,
when I first saw it, I was just like, that's not the Gamorrean guards I'm used
Yeah,
to.
they look
Like,
sick to me, man. When I saw them, I was like, "What is wrong with
well,
yeah,
these
it was
yeah,
just weird because they're fat in the face, and then they have like this. It just the proportions
guys?" It didn't look right. Yeah,
didn't look right.
yeah. And I didn't think. I thought they were from the past, but they were from the future. When you think about the
yeah.
whole
5
timeline.
years
Mhm.
later.
When I
Yeah,
first
no,
saw a
you're
picture
right.
of Favreau, yeah, when Favreau put the Instagram up of them fighting, I was ecstatic because I said, "Wow, they're introducing the guard," because he doesn't speak, so you can't really. A lot of people in anime and voiceover
Mhm.
are doing great because
Mhm.
the characters continue and the rest and all that. But the thing is, you know, when they came back, I said, "Wow, this is opening up a whole new door for me," and it did. It really did. And why did thin? I'll never know. But I know when we were Jabba, we're gluttons. You eat, you feast, obviously.
Mhm.
That
And
could be it.
it's like some
Yeah.
comedians that, you know, they're really heavy, and I won't mention, and they lose all this weight. It's not the same. They're not as funny as they used to be. It's
Mhm.
strange like that. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of comedians that made it because they were robust, and
Yeah.
it was part of their whole routine. And then the routine doesn't work anymore when they lose 40, 50 pounds. You know?
Yeah.
It just looks like, oh, okay. So it's kind of the same kind of thing.
Well, I was gonna say, like, you know, in the beginning of the show, you were mentioning where when you went on set, you were like blown away with some of the, you know, you got Peter Mayhew, you got Mark Hamill, you know, Carrie Fisher. Like, what's your most fondest memory of like being on set? You know, during the
Oh,
filming
there's
of.
too many, too many. There's no, I can't pick one. Let's say pick
Oh.
my best music. There's genres to go with it. But
Mhm.
my fun thing was with Kenny Baker and Stuart Freeborn and I really connected. And Kerry, as Princess Leia and her stand-in,
Mhm.
would come and by the trailer in their outfits. That was pretty amazing. And Harrison was
Mhm.
always
That's
around. You know,
amazing.
it's not like we were best friends, but he was there. And
Mhm.
and just learning the stories, especially Stuart Freeborn told me how he built Yoda and how many
Mhm.
dimensions it was and how it took so long to get the right sizing. And then it came to the eyes at the end. They said, well, that's the most important thing. We need compassion and intelligence. And who do you think's eyes they used on Yoda? What do you think? Compassion and intelligence. And you're never going to look at
Gandhi?
Yoda the
No.
same way. No, Einstein.
Oh.
That's
Who?
Einstein's eyes. Einstein.
Oh, Einstein.
Einstein. Wow.
Oh,
Now that I look, now that I think about it, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
wow. I
yeah. 'Cause
didn't
I can
know
see it.
that
that.
intellect and Einstein had compassion too in his eyes, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna
So
look
yeah,
that up right now.
No, I can see it. I'm thinking about it now.
Wow,
I
I
can see
can't. You know, you're right, Steven.
Yeah,
Now I can't
I can see
unsee it.
Oh
that's
my
I know it's crazy.
gosh.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
it. Impressive.
know?
Wow.
Most impressive.
Wow.
That-
I
wow.
got the 2 photos of the 2 of them, so I'm looking at them and it's like,
It's
I know.
unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Yeah.
those little things are amazing. You know, that's the stuff that was amazing. And
Mhm.
of course, playing music at night, for instance, Leia dancing and Harrison and
Oh,
you're coming in and out of a room. That was fun. That was amazing. I
That's
said,
crazy.
yeah, that was a whole nother aspect to it, you know,
yeah.
for
That's
sure.
that's and
Oh, I
Mark
got.
Hamill. And
Hold on. I
you.
got one, PJ.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What was it like to see them work Jabba? Like, if these guys to like, did you actually get to see them work the
Yeah,
puppet?
and actually, Dave Barkley and there was like 3 guys inside,
Mm.
and you know, a lot of times we didn't get like a lot of stuff was in the studio with that, so Jabba wasn't there fully because it was all about the barge fighting scene.
Mhm.
mhm.
But I know 3 guys worked them. There was 3 R2D2s on the set. 2 of them were mechanical. One, Kenny Baker got in and given it more of a human feel, turning the head and all that stuff. And Kenny was amazing too. I mean,
Yeah.
his stories. Well, he was in Time Bandits, and it was like,
Remember time,
you know,
man.
he told the story. He had a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow or something in England, and of course the wheels on the other side. And he would purposely get out at the fanciest hotels, and he would hide. He would get out, and the valet would be going, "Somebody just drove up this Rolls Royce, right? Where is he?" And he
Mhm.
would play little pranks like that. So those little anecdotes on the set
That's crazy.
were the funniest, you know, that Corey and I loved it and enjoyed. And of course, Mark was I don't know if you saw the picture of us in his trailer with he kind of has his robe and underwear on.
Mhm.
So I use that now, my Polaroid on my 8x10. And then Corey and I saw him again in, was it 2012? No, it was like 2015 maybe, Celebration in Anaheim, and everyone was alive. Jeremy Bullock was there, Kerry was there, Peter was there,
Yeah.
Kenny was there, and we took a picture of Mark, the same stand. So I want to put them side by side now on an 8x10
That's
because
really cool.
it's like 40. Yeah, 40 years later. Who knew? You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Steven, what's up on the screen? This is the new Gamorrean guard bust that they're making.
Oh my God.
PJ,
Yeah,
can you
that
make that
one.
a little bit bigger?
I can't. It's yeah on Facebook. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't see like
Yeah.
my left eye's. Oh, that's the one I love.
Yeah, I'll
think I
personally
see-
send it to you, Steven.
Who's this Gentle Giant?
Yeah. Gentle Giant.
Yeah, Gentle Giant.
It's one of their
Well, I
their
gotta
best
call.
pieces.
I gotta call them because when my first signing at Comic-Con was when they came out with the 10-inch Kenner exactly, and I was there with them. They hosted me with me and Doug Jones my
Mhm.
first year in San Diego Comic-Con, and I haven't spoken to them in a while, but I'm gonna start reaching out to them because I like pieces like that. I love to have myself. I mean, I have so much stuff, but I kind of go through it after time, and you know the stuff I really love, I keep. And the
Yeah.
other
I think a
stuff,
few of
who
us
knows?
I think a few of us like pre-ordered that Gamorrean guard.
What are they
Yeah.
going for?
I mean, they're going for
How
like
much?
100,
Like
150, but
180.
yeah, but once it. Oh no, I think 200 though. I think they're going for 200.
Probably.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but obviously when you get it signed or it sells out, it goes up for a little, much more. Um, yeah, so I was gonna ask you, like, tell us about this scene, Steven, because I watched this and I'm looking at Luke. He looks like he used a force on you, like you know, he swiped away, but
Well, he
he
didn't
also
have.
like kind of gave you like a force push at the end. He's like,
Well, he had not. There was nothing there. It was just him with the handle. We fought, and
mhm,
over the years, other people saying, "Well, that might be you." I fought with Mark no matter what, but there's
mhm,
some kind of stunt guys and stuff saying, "Oh, that could have been me," or so. So it doesn't matter though. We were
mhm,
there. We did the scene, and a lot went on. So who knows what gets on the cutting floor, and who knows what's on, because there's another one on the other side, and it happens so
mhm,
fast. It's within seconds. You know what I mean?
mhm,
But the thing is, we fought Mark Hamill a day, and the few days we worked, and the pictures with the mask off, and that became, that shot with the sales became, some Disney store and all that other stuff. So it's just being part of that whole thing was just amazing for that short period, and I could never imagine now that it still goes on. I mean, there's no end to
mhm.
it, is there, with Disney Plus now? Because
No.
Yeah,
there's so much literature,
Yeah.
and I like
yeah,
that. I like that there's 6 directors, and it's open to. There's no scrutiny like doing a prequel and sequels before. It's literature, so you could bring characters out of nowhere, that
mhm,
would never go into the prequels or the sequels because they're not part of the timeline there. But this opened up a door that, okay, because even Timothy Zahn next to him, and he had like 30 novels there. People revered him. I said, wow, all this there's all this content. It's so profound. It's unbelievable.
yeah.
And
Eh,
even a lot of voiceover actors, they're out there killing it right now. All the voiceover from
Hmm.
Rebels, you know,
yeah,
they're killing it.
yeah,
They're
and I
really
think
killing it.
with Filoni now being the creative director,
Thank
uh,
God.
I know. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we're gonna get really good content now. So hopefully they call the original Gamorrean, and we can get the original Gamorrean on screen. I really, to be honest, like I really hope they go back to that. Like I said, I have nothing against the new Gamorreans. I thought they were cool, but
yeah.
I'm old school,
Well,
man.
I think the one thing that I really would
I
love
hear
to
you.
see, and I see that HBO Max kind of like
Hmm.
did this. So I watched the other day that HBO Max did like an anniversary to Harry Potter, where they brought all the
Hmm.
original actors together and they got to celebrate, like a certain anniversary. I feel
Hmm.
like Disney or, Lucas Films should do the same thing. They should get all the original cast members from all 3 original trilogy and just have everybody like like in a stage room on a couch and everybody talking and reminiscing about old stories. And I feel like that would bring a
Absolutely.
lot of attention and would get fans to see all their old characters together, and then you get to see how they're all doing as well, like how is
Hmm.
everybody doing since Star
Absolutely.
Wars.
Yeah. That happens
Yeah.
in celebration at times, but now that
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's funny because I do a lot of Q&As of Mandalorian, Boba Fett's, and they're fascinated by us because everything was so tangible and so creative.
Hmm.
Like even the guns, you look close, it was carburetor parts. They distressed them, and there was a lot to that. The blood and guts that go into that, it meant a lot. And I think there was a big disconnect with the green screen later on, and that's why people didn't really connect with the
Yeah.
other films as much later on because there was a green screen and nothing was tangible. But come to the future with the volume set, the immersive set that they use now, which is incredible. The actors have something tangible. They actually have props, and it's real time. When the sun goes down, they're in that scene, and
Hmm.
that's a big dichotomy that we talk about a lot in Q&As. How the creative force was do it now. It has to be done, and whatever it takes. And the immersive is definitely making for better acting because the actors get to be immersed in the scene opposed to looking at a big
Yeah.
green screen, imagining the scene.
Hmm.
And so that it's coming full circle as far as that. You know, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Thor. Sorry.
No, I just listening to this is just amazing because I think about like Star Wars collectors, you know what I mean? Because you don't get this with DC and
Yeah.
Marvel and everything. That like Star Wars collect, they literally like people ask me, I said, no, I collect Sith Lords, but like people who are Star Wars collect, they want every single character. I mean, like every single character, you know what I mean? And from like if
Oh
somebody was
yeah.
on the screen for 2 minutes or 30 seconds, and that's what I think would make Star Wars special than like everything else. Is they want everybody.
Oh yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? So it's
absolutely.
Yeah.
cool.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because even if we sign these posters, people have been traveling with these posters 20 years, having people sign. It could be got a cleanup guy. It doesn't matter.
See?
Were you in there? And I see some of these posters that
Oh,
just blow my mind with the signatures.
Steven,
You know,
remember the guy? Remember the guy at
it's
ICC
just
who's walking around with the Darth Vader helmet, and he's had it for like over 20 years, and he's been getting every actor to sign it. He literally has like on the top of the helmet, he has
That's
James
Chris.
Earl Jones. Yeah, Chris I think it's like Chris
Yeah,
Pelletieri.
yeah.
He has
Chris Petalier,
every
yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Pelletieri. He has literally every original trilogy actor sign his original Darth Vader helmet.
Yeah.
And he walks around with it
That's
like it's
incredible.
his baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
Well, I have my Blue
Yeah.
Harvest shirt. I have the shirt and the hat from the set, and luckily in 2015 I got, like, they were alive. I got everybody to sign it that it wasn't on there. I don't have Lucas or Harrison on there, but I have everybody else: Jeremy Bullock, Carrie,
Oh yeah.
and that's, my friend Steve, who's on Pawn Stars. He's an aficionado for autographs. Beckett, his company, and he said, "Why don't you get him signed on the set? It would have been even more valuable to get a signed on the set." And I'm saying, who's thinking in '82, especially at my age, on the set like that? You're trying to, be elusive. Who's going around asking for autographs? You're supposed to be there. Nobody.
Yeah.
That was. That was back then. Even I don't think people did it, except maybe Mickey Mantle and sport figures. They were signing autographs, but it wasn't a popular thing then with movies. It's
Well, I was
become
gonna say,
the subculture now.
Harrison Ford, come on, you gotta finish this. Help Steven finish the shirt. Sign his shirt.
Yeah.
Harrison
Yeah,
and
definitely.
George, you
George-
said, right? I think that would
George
be it.
George. I don't think you ever get George. George is like. he
I
doesn't
wonder
like to
what
sign.
George is doing now.
Maybe if
to
I
be
met him at the
honest.
right time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
George is sitting on his couch hanging out.
Yeah, he's probably like, oh, I'm good now. But I'm wondering, with Dave Filoni like being the creative director, I wonder if Dave is gonna bring George on set, more times than normal, because George.
He's there all the time. George is there a lot. Believe it. He
Oh,
loves
really?
being there,
Okay.
and yeah. That's what I hear. He just loves being there, and he also interjects something they pull from for ideas when they're creating new, ideas to begin with. So, I don't think he's there all the time, but
Yeah.
when he likes something, he likes where they're going with it. He's there, and they pull like a lot from great films. All the great directors do. Like even with
Yeah.
all the stormtroopers helmets. That's right out of Apocalypse Now. When Hopper and Martin Sheen are up the river and they get to where Brando is, where he goes AWOL. They have all the skulls on sticks in the river, and those guys, they take a lot from the great films, and I think that's an important part to pay homage to that.
Yeah.
People could subliminally associate.
Yeah, I was gonna say too is that like Thor brings up a great point with Star Wars, right? Like who would know back then like Gamorrean guards would be a popular character now. With DC
No
and
one knows.
Marvel, you don't besides the main characters and the villains and maybe some of the B characters and C characters, no one really cares about like who's in the background. Oh, who's that alien? Oh, who's that? No one really cares. Everyone cares. Star Wars fan cares about all the characters that are in the background.
Every single one.
And I'm sure you've seen the love that you've been getting in the past how many years, right? From fans like, oh, of all the work that you did in Star Wars. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Steven, like, did you think like, oh
Well, I got to
wow,
give.
like, oh my gosh.
Well, the first thing goes to the 501st because they've been
Hmm.
there since day one, and people said, I have a mask I had made from Dublin because
Hmm.
Chris Stevens Creations. He makes the best. Because I
Hmm.
was looking for a mask for a while, and I found in the States they make them this green, almost like a Kenner green. That's a toy look. My mask was kind of distressed and a little green brown, and Chris made a beautiful mask for me. But people said, "Did you take it off the set?" No, of course not. You couldn't walk off the set with that stuff, even though they're excavating to this day. But I feel a 501st when you get 2,000 stormtroopers and Boba Fett's at a celebration on the roof and all these characters, they make the franchise for us. Plus, it takes a lot to get into the 501st because they want you to really do well
Hmm.
with the
Oh
costumes.
yeah.
And even a lot of
Yeah.
stunt guys said they make them better now because they used to get cut. They didn't have their rough edges. So they make them even more stealth now, a lot of those costumes. And I go to these shows and they come stand around and it's spectacular how good they are with this Jawas, Ewoks. They speak. They have little microphone apparatuses that go with it, and they make the whole thing dressing up like that because we don't. And very rare to see guards. When you see a guard, I always time. We said, "How long can you stay in that outfit?" Usually a half hour, 45 minutes, because they try all kinds of stuff to make it lighter, but it has to be latex to have that density and that look that we had to begin with. You know what I mean?
Some of them actually buy
So
like these little tiny fans that go in the inside of their masks, and it's
Hmm.
like blowing, air for them inside.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
one guy came up from South America. He said, "I nailed it. I found a way to put a fan in the mask. Would you like to try it on? It keeps you cool." But the thing was ceramic. It was so heavy. It was like my head
Oh
was tilting.
wow.
I mean, well, that's great. You get the fan in there, but you got to make a ceramic to hold the fan, and that doesn't work. You know,
Hmm.
you so and Chewbacca was a tough one to wear too. I
They
mean,
can't. They can't. They did my
I can
wedding.
imagine.
Show.
Oh
Blow that up, PJ. That was at my wedding. That
yeah.
was the
Who is
That's
that?
501st. That's the
that's
501st.
Oh yeah, okay, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So, they kind of
Thor,
make it at all the
hopefully
show
one day
everywhere you
I can
go.
steal your idea.
The
I would
people
yeah.
love to
they
get
went
married.
crazy. They
I would
went
love to
crazy.
get married by a Darth Vader. I
I
need to
mean, I
find
wish
another.
I tried to get him to perform the surgery, but they wouldn't let me do it. I mean, for the ceremony.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
So
Yeah.
but
I tried.
every little town I go, they're there. When they come, it
Yeah.
makes it even more spectacular when people take pictures and they're
Hmm.
around. I mean, and they're so everywhere you go, they're
Yeah.
great. It's like you feel at home because they
Hmm.
embrace you in a way that okay, I feel
yeah, they're
safe
very
and at
nice
home
people.
here.
Very nice
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
And the fans, man. I mean, I see 4 generations. I see great grandmother, grandma, the kids, and that's what I love too. Seeing the generations just trickle down,
Hmm.
because my era, when rock and roll music came out, the generation got divided from Frank Sinatra to Led Zeppelin. So
Hmm.
we connected as families, but now to see cosplays going out, it's a wonderful thing. When I'm out there, it fulfills me. It inspires me definitely to
Yeah.
see that.
Well, I was gonna say
How the
too.
growth there.
It's the one thing I think a lot of the newer content kind of misses the mark is that one thing that a lot of us can agree with Star Wars is that it's the simplicity of it that's what people love. I know now with digital and AI or whatever technologies out there,
Yeah,
I know they're trying to advance it, but sometimes you got to go back to the original and do some practical effects, you know, and stick with it because that's why we love Star Wars is because the costume of the Gamorrean guard, Klaatu, Jabba the Hutt, yes, it's cool to see it digitalized in movies, but sometimes we want the OG back. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
Like,
JJ tried to do. Remember when he
but
did the Force Awakens? He went back to building models and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
And I
tried.
think that was pretty successful. Some of the aliens that we saw,
hmm
they're not going to
that's
be
why I
out of place.
reiterated earlier that's the main thing on me on the set. How creative the people were. with normal
Yes.
things, putting it together, and that makes it, that definitely makes it what it is, like you said, and the way they made the costumes, and that'll never change. You know, it's never going to change, and that's why
Yeah.
the OG. It's amazing, the OGs now, the trilogy, how important that is. And with Disney now, we're like the Mickey Mouse Club. You know, it's like we're like Mickey Mouse characters almost. And I never
Yeah.
thought Yoda's big as Mickey Mouse. Let me tell you, Baby Yoda is big as Mickey Mouse, maybe bigger now.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse is
Yeah.
lot more years, but you never thought someone could, be that big as far as a character. Oh God, I might have to charge this.
Oh. Okay.
How much longer do we
Well,
have?
well, yeah, we won't take
Cheers.
up too much of your time. Like maybe like 5-10 more minutes. But just going back to what you're saying to like with Baby Yoda, like that's all practical effects. There's someone like puppeteering it. And honestly, though,
Yeah.
Steven, if you get the call to come back as the Gamorrean guard, would you take it to mask that costume again?
I don't know. I think I like where it is right now. It's never gonna,
Oh,
I
okay.
might best, then I'm gonna kill it. It's like some people
Mm-hmm.
do the greatest roles of their life, and then they come back in the sequel and it kills it. And
Yeah.
of course, right. I want to do music for the Mandalorian or one of them. That's what I want to do.
Oh my
I have a
God, you
recording
would
studio.
kill it.
Yeah, well, and this one of the other things that I wanted to ask you before, sorry, the battery runs out, but
About the music.
yeah, 3%. Okay, here we go. What
I'm gonna go
instrument do you
plug it
play?
in. I think
Oh,
I play guitar and I sing. And you guys haven't heard music yet?
Yeah, I've heard it. The
Have you heard my
Gamorrean
music at all?
sound. Yes, I have.
yeah,
Yes.
the Gamorrean, the
You
Gamorrean.
should. Well, you can get my SoundCloud. Actually, after this, I'll send you my link with my WAV files, and you can put it up during the show if you want to play a little bit. And I work with Stevie Wonder's producer, Robert Margolev.
Oh, okay.
Stevie Wonder's producer on my last tracks. And I play with a lot of records too, because that's my thing. And I had a band I still have a band called The Cronies with Billy Worth from Lost Boys, and we've written a lot of songs together. And we were back in the day when Maverick. We listen to that stuff now. We're never sad, but it's better than ever. And now I have a studio. I can make my own records at home, and work with people like Stevie Wonder's producer. That kind of taught me how to make records. And his partner was my engineering teacher when I was 30 years old. I went back to school for 2 years to learn all the technicalities. And Malcolm Cecil just passed, and he and Robert Margolev, they designed Tonto, which was the first sequencing keyboard. But back in the day, we couldn't plug them into each other and talk to each other like with a USB or MIDI. So now, back then, they had a big harp, Moog, and 6 men would man this thing. And they started the first sequencer, like drum sequence and ever, but it was painstakingly, took a lot of work because it was all hardware. It's called Tonto. I think it's in a museum. You could look it up. It's in a museum in Canada. But that they made an album, Tonto's Revolving Headband, and those sounds that came off that record set precedence for all Weather Report, Moody Blues. And so one day they said, we got to knock on the door, and Stevie Wonder's there with the album under his arm. Says, how do I get these sounds? They let them in. The rest is history. They do all of Stevie's albums, from Fulfilling First Finale, back to Music on My Mind, up until Songs in the Key of Life.
All right,
so
cool.
Stevie took that whole top. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, where can people find, are you on SoundCloud, Steven?
Yeah, but I'll send you my way. They usually have MP3s. I'll send you the one you want to put up, and you could, if you want to put it up on the site with the show.
Yeah,
go to it,
I could
put
up the site. I'll put it on the description, and also I'll put it in our Facebook group. So if anybody wants to listen to Steven's band, please click on the link, and please check it out. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but Thor, did you have any more questions for Steven?
No, man, but I just want to thanks for your time, man. It's been really great, and I'm glad that I could actually share that story with somebody who was in that actual scene about don't kill.
I love it, man. I love it, brother. I gotta tell Philly story when I see Okori. And by the way, hip hop. You guys like? I was not a big hip hop fan, but I'm from the hip hop New York, you know. And now I love Tribe Called Quest and the old. But I wound up playing a lot of hip hop
Oh
records.
yeah,
I don't think you guys would realize it. You know,
really?
when I met Brett Mazer at 19, I met my friend Brett Mazer at 19, and we worked at Scotty Brothers. I was his go-to guy with, you know, playing a lot of stuff, and he just finished Bell Bell thing, and they were coming in, and then New Edition was making a big comeback, so I played
Mhm.
a song, "You Don't Have to Worry," this greasy kind
Really?
of funky guitar, and Mary J. Blige, yeah,
Wow.
Mary J. Blige did
What?
a take on it, but it never got
Wow.
released because Bobby and all them kind of they in the buy-up they did on the bus, they're playing it before they go on
Mhm.
tour. Then Bobby never makes it, so that tour never happened, and they were all platinum artists on their own right by that time. So what happened is Brett goes on and he starts a band called Crazy Town. Come, my lady, I'm a
Yes.
butterfly, and
Yes.
I played a lot. I played on that record a lot of guitars. I didn't tour with them. My drummer JBJ at the time in my band, who played with Chuck Mangione and Anita
Mhm.
Baker, and he went on tour with them for a while. But Brett always said, "I love that guitar in New Edition. I have the track, never released it, so I want to use it on Revolving Door." And the same
Mhm.
guitar that's on New Edition, a whole different song, is on Revolving Door, which was a hit record, you know,
Yeah.
on Gift of Game, Crazy Town.
Well,
So it's
that's pretty
interesting.
crazy
Yeah, pretty
because
crazy. It is crazy. That
yeah, because I'm a big hip hop fan. You know, more so back in the '80s, '90s, and early 2000s.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
stuff
because
now,
yeah.
man, is some
I don't know what's
garbage.
going on
Yeah, this
now.
stuff is trash.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I was gonna. Well,
You know,
wow.
I
Yeah, I agree with
produce these
Thor.
young guys, and I say, you know what? You know, I produce young guys, and everything's cookie cutter and down the middle, and they
Mhm.
piece all these parts together. And I said, and then as I'm mixing, I was mixing with one friend. He's a young hip hop artist, and I started to pan it a little bit, the Moog Shin. He goes, "Why'd you sound so full?" I said, "Because you guys just put them in there. We mix everything into it. We have a plateau, and we put stuff in place that makes it so powerful. And you guys always just put snapshots up there. It's like." But those snapshots is much more depth to, you know it. And once you open up those doors, you know it's amazing. You just got to show the way, you know. Well, that's funny.
You know, that's crazy because
Just say so.
Yeah, you mentioned bands, you know, and artists that I grew up with. You know, Tribe Called Quest, New Edition. Like, oh my gosh, you know,
Yeah.
that was my R&B group back in the day. You know, watch them growing from,
Well, dude, I
you
want to
know,
mix
cool
that
it
song.
down.
I'm on. You don't have to worry. Oh yeah, you don't have to worry. Look it up on YouTube. Our version's not on there because our version had Little Kim on it, and I love it.
Really?
It wasn't. I want to mix it to the, but they have other versions. You don't have to worry. New Edition, and I think
Yeah,
Mary
Oh
J is on there or
wow.
something. On one
yeah,
of them.
no, you don't have
Yeah,
to
but that's
worry.
not our
Is
mix.
that was on their newer album.
Was that
You
on the
know,
one with "Can You Stand the Rain" and all that stuff?
yes.
Yes.
Can
Yeah.
you stand?
So
Okay, I
that's the one
can't
I
sing.
Cause
played
I
on.
need
I don't know what you.
I love
somebody.
PJ's singing
Yeah.
skills.
You don't have to worry.
Yes,
You don't
you
have
don't
to
have
worry.
to. Remember that,
Yeah,
Thor?
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my
That's.
goodness.
So I played on a remix of that with Little Kim, you know, and all the boys back together, and
Yeah. Oh, I gotta look
it's
that.
kind of
Oh
like
my
I have to
gosh,
get
this
the.
is you know, because
But I
back
gotta get the
then,
master because the one I have but the one I have, I gotta get the master. I want to mix it right because there's stuff in there that needs to be mixed because it never got released. So Brett never finished mixing it like it should have been.
well, because I was gonna
So
say, Steve, this is crazy, you know, and hopefully, you know, everyone's like, what the, you know, all these towers are like, what are you guys talking about? No,
If you don't know, you don't know, bro. That
you
stuff
don't know,
was
you
the
don't
bomb
know.
back in the day.
exactly,
Yes,
exactly,
that was
Yeah.
like,
exactly.
listen, I used to, but anyway, you don't have to worry. You know, like when you said there was a remix back then. There was always a remix to a song, right, Thor?
Man, I'm
And
trying
I
to tell
used
you.
to remember going to Sam
Right.
Goody,
See,
and you know, back then I didn't have a lot of money, so if I had a couple dollars or $5 in my pocket, if I could go to Sam Goody, Goodies got
Tower,
it.
Tower Records.
Tower Records.
The Wiz.
The Wiz. Nobody beats the
Yeah.
Wiz. You know, I would get the single, and the single had all the remixes.
Bro,
You know,
you
and
know who
that
had the bomb remixes? Was
Mhm.
Jodeci.
Yes.
Yes.
You ever heard the remix to Come and Talk to Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my
absolutely.
God, man, bro.
Come
I
and
owe them
Jodeci-
brothers. I owe those brothers
Jodeci
some
was
money.
my
That's all I'm trying
band
to
to
tell you.
listen to in high school.
You look so sexy.
Sexy.
you will
And then the
turn
beat drops.
blow
Oh my
my-
goodness.
Yeah, that was my. Yeah, I owe them some money.
Oh,
That's all I'm
Steven,
saying.
we
you
gotta.
know, it's funny.
We have to hang out, Steven.
Plus,
For
my
real.
song, my song, "Nowhere to Go" on my CD, my EP. I was working with Hugo from Tantric, a rock band. They're pretty some hits, and he there's a version on Tantric Mercury Retrograde of that song as well. And you know, it's incredible. Now all the songs I've written, they stood the test of time. So I'm excited about getting my studio back up here and you know putting it all out there. Plus the timeline. I want to go Billy Worth. I want to do a timeline and show a whole career of stuff we've done because it's important now. It's stuff that really counts. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna say
absolutely.
too, Steven, you know, Billy D son, Corey, right? So you said you played in a band with him.
Well, that's how we got into the Jedi.
Yeah. But what does he play?
When I met my martial arts teacher. My martial arts teacher Van said, who I met when I moved out. He said, "You got to meet Corey D. He plays amazing bass. You guys will hit it off." And he took me up to Billy's house. We sat down and we never looked back.
Well, I was gonna say, did you know it was the son of Billy D?
Oh, of course,
You know,
of course. He looks just like
you
him.
did? Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. He said I knew, and then Billy, he loved the music and so supportive. He'd come in and get blown away because we were always looking for different members, and it's funny the people who come through there at Billy's house that come see us in the studio, you know, in the garage was amazing. Like Martha Reeves, Verdine White from Earth and the Fire came up and gave Corey at one point some bass lessons and stuff, and it's amazing. Even to this day, Corey's still killing it. He has a studio and he puts his stuff every other day. Cool stuff, you know, videos. He's been doing it a long time. And we get together, it's like we never stop. There's some footage I just put up today on Facebook of us playing at my old studio when he was in town for the premiere with the Lando premiere. I think the one when Lando came back. And we're just in the studio going at it. And I just put it up. You want to check it out, you guys. It's on my Facebook page.
Are they still making that Lando show or no?
Yeah,
it's
I
still
think
rumored.
they are.
I don't know.
It's still I think it's gonna happen. You know, so well, who knows now with Dave Filoni? I'm sure it's gonna happen. So, all right. So I don't want to take obviously, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I really appreciate, you accomplished a lot. The fact that you playing in a band, you did, produced a lot of songs. You're on Return of the Jedi as the Gamorrean guard. You got to play in front of Mark Hamill and the rest of the gang. That is so cool. I got the chance to meet them. It's an honor, seriously, and thank you for everything you've done for Return of the Jedi. And we love your character.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Thank you, Steven.
So I mean, obviously, we want to talk to you more about the producing stuff on Backstage a little bit before you leave. So, but thank you to everyone tuning in. I really appreciate it. Listening. If you want to, Steven, where can they meet you in person? When's the next con? I mean, still in the works, and where can they find?
I'm working on SuperCon in February. We're gonna see. I haven't heard back from Wilford, but I'm gonna wait and see what.
Okay,
I'll let you guys know though.
Oh, in Florida, right? Is it MegaCon? MegaCon, right?
No, it's called Super Fan Con.
Super Fan. There's so many super and megas, so I get confused. So
it's not written in stone, but I saw Suzanne the other day, and she was talking about doing it, and we want to go out together. We have a great time. By the way, Suzanne Malik, have you seen Pranked?
Yes.
Yes.
She was hilarious.
Series?
Yes.
Did you see her?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was with her and her son. I met her son the other day because Bradley Galey had his 50th birthday. We were invited to go, and a lot of Mandalorian, Chris Barlett, a lot of people there, and we had a great time.
Oh,
There's
wow.
some pictures I put up as well.
Yeah, Chris, we had on
Suzanne
the show.
killed me.
So yeah.
Oh, so Chris, Suzanne and I, she has a mouth, the filthiest mouth I ever met, and I was like, "What is with
she
you,
from
girl?"
Jersey?
But I wish,
Yeah.
no, but she's my sister now. We're like sisters because she's so genuine and real. She could do that because she does it with conviction. So, but the first time I met her in Texas, she was mouthing off with these kids at the table. I said, "Man, wow, you have no filters, do you?" She goes,
I love it.
Yeah, Susanna's a riot.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say
love
too is that looking for, and when you come to Jersey, we gotta I'll treat you out for some pizza, bagels, lox, and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
And I
you.
know where we could get some really banging cafe con leche Cuban coffee. So
get them a pork roll as well.
Taylor ham, egg and cheese.
I go to Versailles over here. Oh yeah, Cuban. I go to Versailles but when I was in Miami, we went to some of the bakeries with all the great stuff like Porto's here too. But when I was in my father, and I'll make it. I was in Union City before my mother got divorced for a few years. It was all Cuban, so I've been eating Cuban sandwiches since I was 12. You know what I mean?
I could go for some Cuban sandwich with the butter. Oh, I can't go. I mean, yeah.
But done right, it's a big. Yeah.
Yes. But thank you, Steve.
Are you guys on Facebook?
Yes.
You guys on Facebook? Look me up and are we friends, all of us? I know we are.
We are.
You guys are.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for you.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah. Okay. I see you.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of stuff we're talking about because I post a lot there.
Okay, awesome. I just sent you a friend request. So, all right, guys.
Okay.
So again, Steven, thank you so
guys,
much.
thank you.
Thor, thank you. Don't leave that, Steven. But Thor, thank you for hopping on the show. Thank you guys for listening. Sean, we miss you. And Nilda, another one in the books. Thank you, everyone.
Great story. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man. Anytime. I just sent you a friend request.
We'll be back next week.
Oh, good. Okay.
Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Take care, everyone. May the midichlorians be with you guys always and forever. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.